So this isn't really like an official podcast or nothing, but I just wanted to talk about this because it is annoying me. Uh, I'm wearing two shirts because shirt on the bottom is like I'm fat, so I sweat and sweat bleeds through. Whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm mad. I'm mad because our truth got fired, bro. Like that's what if that's like there's no way to sugarcoat that. They fired our truth for no reason. I know the reason though. I know the reason. I know the reason. Because he black. Yep. Yep. WWE is like slowly tapping into his inner MAGA, and they're like, nope, we can't have that. We can't have this guy here. Hey, hello, Southern Bell 33. How you doing today? Oh my God, I did not expect you to pop up. Oh man, I am, but I'm agitated about that though. It's like because like it's kind of ironic too because are they gonna? It's kind of ironic too because like now that I'm thinking about it, is like the fact that they're going like full MAGA and getting rid of like Carlito and R Truth while also linking up with AAA is just like what's like there's a it's weird. It's weird to me.
So this is
Peekaboo.
all very intentional. It's just
I feel
like,
like it's intentional.
so it's like, okay, and from there, is is there any difference between someone's contract expiring to you or someone just cutting them off in the middle of a current deal? So then we went over this earlier. You think that it's the same thing?
I
So
think
like
that's the
if
same thing.
there were three
Yeah.
years left on his contract and they fired him, or like okay, the 3 years are up and it's like, well, we're not going to give you another contract.
Yeah, it sounds like that sounds like a firing. It's like it's basically saying, because it's a lot like okay, it's kind of like saying if you had like a job that wasn't contractual. It's like okay, if you had a job that wasn't like a contract, right? Like
Mhm.
let's just say for example, but let's just say so it's like I work an hourly job. Somebody were to pop up and say somebody were to pop up and say, hey, you got 3 more months here, and then you gone, or you got 3 more years here, and then we getting rid of you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. It feels like I got 3 more years. It feels like I'm getting fired in 3 years. That's what the contract job seems like to me.
Yeah, in professional wrestling, that's kind of where it's always sort of difficult. Now we have different companies and organizations now where people can roughly do things, but from there, if you're a talent and it's like, oh, I'm signing a 3 year deal or a 5 year deal or however long you do it, when it does start to get close, you start to think, okay, am I going to get released? Am I going to be able to work on a new deal? Was I able to showcase everything that I had? Or the time I wasn't being used?
Do you? I take it that you don't think that you don't think that that's like that's a firing, do you? Like you don't think that a contract not getting renewed is a firing?
Um, it's on the same par. I definitely have to think about it some more. But our truth definitely with his comedic chops, his entertainment value, uh, um, we can always keep him around. Definitely. I don't know if it was the age thing.
He
Um,
black. That's what it was. It's because he's
right
black.
from there, and then definitely they're starting to call people up now. And you do think that okay, main rosters are a set number of people you have to have.
What
Is it?
is
Yeah.
that a thing?
No, I was like, well, I don't think it's a thing, but they do try to keep a certain budget. You think, even with them making all these record profits and
Bro,
TKO merger.
$1 billion company, man. $1 billion company. Don't give me that. Like I mean, I get it though. That is that. I mean, like it is a $1 billion company. So of course, greed. I get that. But it's like but it's still like my whole thing is that like with but like I'm thinking that is because I'm also thinking that it's demographics based because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but remember the last time they went on a firing spree. I remember the last time that they went on a firing spree, it was a whole bunch of women and Braun Strowman, who just happens. But by the way, if you if you you can literally make the words woman out of Strowman's last name. All you gotta do is just get rid of ST and R. But Omen, OW, just put the W in front of the O. Woman. That's all I'm saying. They got rid of all the. There was like, can we get rid of more women? Well, we got somebody who could you could like anagram their name into the word woman. And J Rob, if you're being here, get the heck out. It's like if you it's like yeah, but it was like a whole bunch.
Jade. Your indie name is Alana Black. So black people, so you have to be gone too.
Basically.
You're not working hard enough.
Oh my God.
It's just yeah. And Dolan, he used to be married to Darby. What does he only have? Black and white. That's why.
That's wild, bro. It's crazy.
So from there, do you have a favorite R-Truth memory or moment?
I feel like we're talking about him like he's dead.
No, man. I mean, do you have a favorite moment, man? You haven't poured out the liquor for me yet.
Nah, my favorite. I have like a bunch of favorite R-Truth moments, but like a lot of what I do, I base off what R-Truth does when he mistakes wrestlers for other people. Like I loved it when he called DIY DX because Ciampa looked like Triple H, and I'm guessing Homeboy looked like.
There was one time, like when Gargano was in NXT and Shawn Michaels was like really hitting the abs again.
Yeah.
And they would like have these ab off, like kind of like shirt off, like how people do like shirt off competitions. Yeah. And like Michaels would really be like trying to show up Gargano for his abs, like if he still has it and things like that. And obviously Gargano came up to the NXT rankings when I know Michaels has more control over it now, but yeah, you definitely see the DX influence in DIY. But yeah,
But yeah, so that's kind of like what it was. It was just like I know that I liked it when he did that. That was funny. But also I kind of liked it when I also liked it when he was when he came back the second time, because there was a time where he was going into when he was in TNA and he was on his way out, and while he was on his way out, they were like doing like fake movie vignettes where it was just R-Truth just standing in front of a backdrop that was similar to the movie, and he would just be acting like the character. Like he did it for like this Marine movie, this military movie. So it was like he was on his way out because he was coming to WWE from TNA, and they were like making that was, bro, that was crazy. It was hilarious, man. But it was like, that was like one of my favorite moments. But also like the very first time I ever saw him, I didn't know who he was, but like I always thought to myself, I looked at him and I saw how lanky he was, and I'm like, oh, this dude he's definitely a flipper. He definitely does flips. And so when I saw him do that spinning, that little heel kick, and he spun with it, and he did that, he did this clothesline. He doesn't do it anymore, but he used to do this spinning clothesline where he would like do a jumping clothesline and then spin with it. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I'm just like, I'm still in that, and I'm going to. But yeah, it was mostly like his wrestling that really got to me, but because I didn't really know him as a character until he started like actually doing doing all the crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. So I like the one time, like I know it's like one of his popular moments, but the first time he did it when he thought he was gonna be like in the Money in the Bank match, and he came out in New Orleans, and he was like. It was Corporate Kane and Dolph Ziggler and Roman Reigns. And he came out, and then he was like, he's like, you're not even in the match. And he's like,
I'm not?
Not bad, New Orleans, I'm sorry. Y'all be good.
Yeah, that whole promo.
But the thing was like a little bit after that, it was kind of like, not to say like the SpongeBob, like I tore my pants joke. They kept trying to like go back to it, but the first time he did it, it was really, really funny. Because like it came out of nowhere. He was so serious with it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of funny. Like, my bad.
Because then like after a while you kind of got, because they spreaded it up a little bit more, but like during that time after that, like they just started doing their R-Truth, my bad moment. Yeah. And it was like, okay, now you're expecting something to happen.
Yeah.
But like the first time he did it, I remember because it wasn't New Orleans. And the shit just came out of nowhere.
Bro, I still remember. My favorite, like that actually reminded me of the moment where he like went to the Royal Rumble with the ladder.
Yeah.
And he just climbs up the ladder and he's like, perfect. And it's like his Royal Rumble moments is up there with Kofi's and with Kofi and Chelsea Green's. Like because that was because then there was that moment, and then there was a moment where he. Huh? There was that moment, and then there was a moment where he went to the women's Royal Rumble and
Oh
actually.
yeah. So that was
I love that.
Yeah, so
It's like, well,
he might have Kofi's number. We might have to start like
it's like,
really ranking them, like how we have. We're not going to go into it, but we had a draft. We might have to like start drafting our best Kofi moments and our best R-Truth
oh
Royal
my
Rumble
god.
moments. And
Like,
see
bro,
who
my favorite.
wins.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, but some of my favorite. Another one of my favorite moments that has nothing to do with either of those guys. Like, if we're gonna like segue into this a little bit, one of my favorite moments was Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
She would like just go straight in, and like the thing was that like I remember like since Chelsea Green was like an indie darling, so in my brain I'm thinking to myself Chelsea Green is just gonna be like this. I'm thinking to myself Chelsea Green is just gonna go up in there, she's gonna show everybody what she can do, and she's out, and then she goes back again. Wow, zero on the chat, but I don't mind. It was like, and then she goes back again. And it's like, I'm like, okay, Chelsea, this is it. This is it. She's out.
All right. Chelsea Green. That's what I'm saying. Like that briefcase is made for her. They got to find a way to put her in.
They gotta find a way to.
She might have like the injury and stuff. Is everything gonna be fine by next Saturday? But she has to somehow get in there.
Yeah, that was.
She would be so great with that briefcase. All the things you can just imagine how entertaining
I
she's gonna be
mean,
with
because
it.
Chelsea, like like Chelsea Green could definitely fill the void that R-Truth is leaving behind a little bit. Like, if we're being real, like it's definitely because like we need funny wrestlers, we need joke wrestling, we need comedy wrestling because people say, oh, comedy wrestling is like it's a demotion. You're not because like nobody's gonna take you seriously, and it's like the whole concept of R-Truth was that he was funny, but you knew that he could be world champion. He's been world champion before. Shout out to NWA. And it's like he's done this before. Like I think I want to say he's a Grand Slammer. If he were to win the world championship, he would be Grand Slam. Because I know he was US and he was tag champ. Was he ever Intercontinental champ? Oh, the fact of the matter is that like he's world champ. He's done it before, and so it's like but it's like and also we just need that funniness. We also need that funniness. We need that hilarity. We like R-Truth because he's entertaining. WWE, the E in WWE stands for entertainment. I don't understand why. I just realized I should have found a way to show Ashton this because he'll probably pop up. I'm gonna send this to Ash while I'm talking about it. But no, that's what I'm saying though. Is that like it's I'm just saying though. Is that like I'm annoyed because like we need that. It's necessary. Oh God. I'm losing. I'm sorry, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry if I'm not interacting with the chat. I apologize, but it's just because, like I said, I'm talking about wrestling, and when I do, I get a little hyper passionate. So I do appreciate it. But also, this is an interactive channel, so if you do have questions, please be sure to send them through, and we will answer them. We'll answer them to the best of our abilities. I'm a beat kill. Taking my friend. He's not Caleb. Caleb's not taking me. Uh, so Shorty Sweets is in the chat. But yeah, though. But in to re-explain the subject that we're talking about, a wrestler who's been. I can't use real names, so I have to come up with a nickname. I just came up with one on the fly. Who is Shorty Sweets? I'm sorry. Should I say something? Southern Bell 33 is in the chat right now. Let me find out. Well, what I'm saying is that, like, in context of what we're talking about, a wrestler who has been notoriously very, very, very entertaining, very, very, very talented, also surprisingly age defying. Like this man is in his 50s and he doesn't like. If you look at a picture of R-Truth from like 20 years ago and look at him today, all the only thing that happened was that his hair got longer. That's it. That's it.
Black don't crack.
Black does not crack, and that bitch like he hasn't gained an ounce. That makes me so bad. He's not fat either. Shoot, stresses me. Like like how do you do it? How do you do it? What do you do? Man, got abs for days, abs, all that. Shoot, I want abs. I want abs. By the way, hijack raw. Hashtag hijack raw. Hashtag we want truth. Hashtag what's up.
Yeah, so think that they're gonna be in Tulsa.
Tulsa.
So, definitely, Jews history, Black Wall Street, and things like that there. But definitely, if this crowd can definitely come together, and it's not just one night, we need people to continuously.
We want truth. We want truth. We want truth.
Like that void is going to be there. I just think they do have some comedic wrestlers, but I don't know if they can fill the void.
That's what I'm saying.
He's just a treasure.
I feel like Chelsea Green could probably do it, because we all know that Otis and Tozawa are going to ultimately become more serious down the line. And now that I think about it, I don't think that there's any other comedic wrestlers in the roster other than like Otis and Tozawa, and that annoys me. Like we need funny wrestlers. Funny wrestlers are good for business. I don't understand this. Also, speaking of professional wrestling firings, which is what we're talking about, by the way, wrestler R-Truth, who is a very, very, very talented wrestler, got fired. Well, his contract isn't going to get renewed, and it ends in a couple of weeks. It ends like what, in a week? Tomorrow? 2 days?
I'm not sure when it is up, but apparently he did announce that he's not being resigned, and he has been informed. Don't know the exact date, but
the fact of the matter is that like he is, his contract is up. So that, and also another person's contract is up, Galito, and I'm not cool with that either. I'm not. Like that's messed up, because Carlito is, first of all, he's still good. He might not be able to do what he used to be able to do, and oh my god, that man used to do magic in the ring, bro. That man used to do magic. But then they're getting rid of him. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I said, you're getting rid of Black and Brown, but you're going to Tulsa and you're mixing it up with AAA, bro. I'm like I'm not, I don't like. For me, the MAGA allegations are up there, bro. I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting the MAGA vibes a little bit. Like it's just, it feels like it's not there. But also, I'm starting to think that I also, if they bring R-Truth back to TNA, because he's been there before, by the way, then it's like it just wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to TNA, why would they? Why, for what? What is the reason? I want R-Truth to go to AEW. I don't care how it's done. I don't care how it's done. I don't care who does it. I don't care the context. I want him to go to AEW. I want him to go to AEW because AEW revamps careers. Am I right? Ricochet, Edge, Christian. What's the other dude's name? Sting. The Hardys, essentially.
yes.
Shoot, AEW. Say whatever you want about AEW. AEW revamps careers. So I wish, I wish, but for not the Hurt Business. Shoot.
So now we're starting to think of like what type of non-compete clause he has. Like if you do want him to go to AEW, because it is a little bit different if your contract expires. So we saw with Ricochet, when his contract expired, he showed up to AEW very, very shortly. They didn't write him off on TV, but like he did show up to AEW very shortly thereafter because he didn't have a no compete. Then you look at someone like going back to how like the last batch of releases was all women. Somebody that was in there, but it really wasn't publicized a lot until she like actually said it, was Shotzi Blackheart, because her contract expired, and like a lot of people just didn't know about it. And then she announced one day, yeah, my contract had expired with WWE, and they didn't like re-sign me, but she was in NOW very, very shortly thereafter. So from there, like normally they do the 90 compete clause, but if it's 90-day no compete clause, but if he does not have a non-compete, it's fair game. You know, you can. It's open season. You can definitely see if he shows up to AEW. If he works the Indies, you know, you can just show up anywhere and just have some fun.
Exactly.
And
And that's what I'm looking forward to.
there's rumors Tommy Jr. had already tweeted. Hey, what's up? you know,
Exactly.
What's
What's
up?
up?
You can come, to
You can come back to TNA because let's never forget Ron the Truth Killings was in TNA. He was there in the NWA TNA years with the Road Dogg and Conan. Let's never forget that. 3 Live Crew easily which ultimately stirred up the Voodoo Ken Mafia and LAX and oh god, I'm old. I'm old. I remember all of that. I remember all of that. Billy Gunn is the reason why we have Santana in TNA. Like connect those dots. Connect those dots.
So we got like some people that are posting. It looks like Damian Priest posted a picture of him when he was World Heavyweight Champion. And remember when they were doing that kind of photo of like, you said like heel stables need to just all be holding the championships.
Yeah.
So it's like a picture of him, and then Rhea Ripley was women's champion.
Yeah.
And then like R-Truth's like behind with his tag team championship.
That is amazing.
So
Never.
Rhea Ripley. In all seriousness, this is so heartbreaking. Thank you, Truth. We all saw what the Miz posted, but it was a very, very heartwarming.
It's like because people love the truth.
Forming awesome truth with you is one of the best runs of my career. No one made me laugh harder. Your energy, heart, and smile lit up every room and every arena. You're not one of a kind. You're once in a lifetime. Love you, Truth. Keep shining. Beautiful words by The Miz, Carmelo Hayes. Thank you for everything you've done for the business, the doors you opened, and being a real OG to the whole locker room.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot about the game and how to navigate this business. Ron Killings is timeless.
He is.
It's from Pat McAfee. It's guaranteed joy when he's a part of a segment. He's also my dad's favorite WWE superstar of all time. The McAfees are bummed but we all know R-Truth will continue to bless the world with his big ass brain. And Big E, no one made me laugh harder backstage more than Ron. I've known this man for 13 years. He treated me like a brother from the very first day. Never saw him in a bad mood. A man who could just spread kindness and joy every chance he could. It's from Kevin Owens. I've said many times that there are a few people in the industry for whom I have unlimited respect, love, and admiration for. R-Truth is at the very top of that list. An incredible timeless performer with an unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to anyone. And then Ricochet, you're an amazing talent, even better person. Go enjoy your life, Unc. Shotzi posted, just went off on me my screen. But yes, the wrestling world is reacting to the news of R-Truth, no longer going to be in WWE. So when you're thinking what his next move is, it's going to be interesting. But now you're thinking about how soon it's going to be if he does not have that no compete.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And now I'm like, I think the question is like, where is he? Like the question ultimately is going to be where is he going to end up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be the question. Where is he going to end up? And I'm at that point right now. I'm just like, just bring him to AEW. Like, why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because shoot, let him keep the gimmick. Let him keep the what's up gimmick.
What's up? Yeah, and apparently he does own the rights to his song, so it's just
that's it.
But he also used it when he was in TNA.
Yeah.
So it's like they
beware, coming for you is the remix. 3 Live Crew. I remember that. But now that I think about it, that actually has the same beat as What's Up a little bit. You've actually heard that. You ever heard the 3 Live Crew interesting song?
I don't remember.
You can sync it. You can easily sync it with What's Up a little bit. It's actually like singing it out loud just made me think about that a little bit. That's kind of crazy. beware, coming for you is the remix, the 3 Live Crew.
Ooh.
Man, that hurts me a little bit though. I ain't gonna lie. And like I said, I'm even more mad because, like I said, they got rid of Kalito because Kalito could have been like, funny background art. You know what I'm saying? He was like, and he was doing great. Like he was kind of like the. I mean, sure, he was the flunky for for the Judgment Day, but it worked because I mean, you like seeing him. You like seeing him. Dude was a good wrestler, and now they just like I don't understand. But like I don't understand. But one thing about Kalito is that he's gonna bounce back because like WWC is basically his home, so like he's gonna bounce back regardless because he always gonna have WWC as long as because the Colognes, they run that joint. I think I think they run it. I don't know, but yeah. But I'm just man, bro. What did they like I said? This WWE, in my opinion, this is WWE going full MAGA. This is WWE going full on MAGA. They just letting you know, yeah, nobody is safe. If we want to get rid of women, we're gonna get rid of women. If we're gonna get rid of the blacks, we're gonna get rid of blacks. We're gonna get rid of browns, we're gonna get rid of browns. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Which is weird they got rid of Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman, like I don't know if you remember the control your narrative thing, but Braun Strowman was like a key part of that, and that was like heavily right wing. Like right wingers were like flocking in for that one, bro. It was crazy. They was throwing their money at that one, but then so it is kind of like I don't know where to go with this, but I feel like it just it feels it feels a little shady. It feels messed up. But yeah, screw you, TKO. Hijack that, like hashtag hijack that show. Hashtag we want truth. Hashtag we want truth. Hashtag, you know, set the truth free. Not really. No, that's not one. I'll think of something else.
Truth shall set you free.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie though. Like I had like one of my favorite truth matches. It was a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship because it was Truth, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and I always forget the fourth person. I think it was Ziggler. But it was a 4-way for the United States Championship, and Truth lost it. And also, let's be real, the 24/7 title. That's like Truth's greatest moments right there. When there was a wrestling match. Like I remember, like there was a match going on, and it was like pulling a table out from underneath the ring, and it was Truth on the table. Oh man, I feel bad because like as much as I did like the 24/7 title craziness, there was a wrestler who actually got injured during that whole thing. Yeah, there was like apparently
2 people, Ember Moon and
yeah, like they were like
I just know her name, but
yeah.
that was one, and it's like when you have people like running after each other in a straight line, it's like
Yeah, you have to.
it's hard. It's
Wait, was it Athena? Was Athena and somebody else, or was it just Athena?
I don't know. I want to say it was someone else off the top of my head. But off the top of my head, I can't remember. Um, man, I don't know. I think Creed was injured around the same time, and they had the same injury, but I don't think it was from that. Like he's jumping in my mind right now, but I do want to say it was someone else who was injured during one of the 24/7 title.
Yeah, that was wild. What the heck? I got 5 people. I had 5 people up here. Now I got 3. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, I was just doing this stuff expecting nobody to show up, and now I got 3 people up in here, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them are trolls. That's wild. That's wild. Phil, this is an interactive whatchamacallit, so feel free to talk. We talk back. What do y'all think about our truth getting fired from WWE? Because that's what it is to me. Like if you refuse to renew the contract, that's a firing. I ain't no troll. Thank you for acknowledging that you're not one. Very loudly, all caps. I respect that. Thank you. I'm just. It's the internet, so I have to assume that everybody is a troll until they say otherwise. So I appreciate you for saying otherwise. Thank you. shoot a brother a like if you like what's going on. But yeah, I did not like what happened with the. I did not like what happened with that. That was not cool. Like why truth? You know what I'm saying? Like what did he do? Like what did he do? Like what? I because like you know there's a void there with truth being gone. Like and I mean like I said, Chelsea Green can fill the void, but I don't think they're going to give I don't think they're going to give Chelsea Green that opportunity, and that's the part that's bothering me. Man, shout out to the two that are still up in here, by the way. But nah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But like I said, you know, if he goes to AEW, all is going to be right with the world. I don't care. I don't care because I know how much I know how much the internet wrestling community seems to hate AEW, have this universal hate for it. But like, I want you going to miss truth. Exactly. We all will. Like, exactly. I miss truth already. But like I said, if he goes to AEW, all is going to be right with the world, man. I'm telling you. Like, imagine, because, dude, I feel like if our truth goes to AEW, he'll probably win a title. Like, would you want to see Truth in AEW?
Um, yeah, I mean, just because like they do have like a lot more comedic segments and have like more comedic wrestlers, he could fit in. Even then, like maybe he could do some serious stuff too. I don't think that there's not a promotion that won't benefit from him being on the roster just from his experience, his knowledge, his expertise, and just being able to work in front of an audience. Um, Definitely, a lot of wisdom can be learned from hard truth. So he's definitely someone I think that a lot of promotions should look at bringing in.
Truth in a Continental Classic could be cinema. Exactly, Tone. Exactly. Tone, you get it. You get it, Tone. Wow, I got six people up in here. This is crazy. This is crazy. I did not. Okay, I went from like not. I went from having zero people to seven people. What is happening right now? I don't even have this many people. Like what is happening? Okay, like I said, you know, wow, that's crazy. I've been thinking that they're coming in because like the title does talk about our truth getting like you know released or I'm calling it fired, but that's crazy. That is wild. Okay, y'all, who are y'all? Like dead, like for real. That is wild. Cause like you know, like who's farming for troll bait up in here? That's crazy, bro. Six people, bro. What is happening? I did not expect this. But yeah, though, that's what I'm saying. Is like, you know, outside of also while I'm talking about this, also while we're talking about wrestling, I want to take this time to also bring up the was the top of my recommend. Thank you. Not sure why it is, but I appreciate it all the same. I'm a small channel. I don't know how I am on anybody's recommendation list. I don't get it, but thank the algorithm, I guess. I don't know. I don't either. Yes, me neither. But nah, that's crazy though, man. Like I don't think that yeah, our truth did nothing wrong. Hashtag our truth did nothing wrong. You know, like because he didn't. He just you know he did his. Here's the thing. Like our truth was so good at it. Like he was so good that he made everything go over. He made stuff that we didn't like go over. Nobody like people hated the 24/7 championship, but when he had it, that dang was money. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the 24/7. What's your favorite 24/7 moment? Do you if you have one? Oh, you did? Yeah, he did. It's just me now. Um, but yeah, but yeah, like initially this was just me and my roommate talking about some wrestling, but I think he went to I think he's out for the day. I'm not sure, but if you guys want to talk, we still can. Feel free to say some stuff in the chat, and we could chat it up. But Uh, but yeah, that's wild, man. I'm not okay with this. I'm claiming racism though, but that's only because it's hate to say it, but Drake Mav with the 24 title is a personal favorite. Honestly, him pursuing it, him like chasing after it, and not like when he did win it, it was actually pretty funny because he did not win it for like he was like going after it for like a really long time, and then he finally does get it. That is awesome. He definitely did. That's what I'm saying though. But it's like you had like that was a good those were some good moments, and that's the reason why I will always say that comedy wrestling. That's one reason why I always say that comedy wrestling is not bad wrestling. Wrestling fans love to say that oh, comedy wrestling will cause a wrestler to just like not be taken seriously and all that other stuff. I don't like that. I don't like that assumption because like as much as you like laughing, as much as you like laughing with our truth, that you still have it in your head that he could have been world champion. That he's not a bad wrestler. He's been world champion before. The dude was NWA world champion before. After beating Ken Shamrock of all people. Like this is like these things happen. We laugh, but the dude was a goat. He could retire right now if he really wanted to, and I wouldn't even be upset about it. But I would rather him, I'd rather just see what he can still do because wrestling comes in all different flavors. 2011 Truth could have easily been a top contender with proper booking. Probably so. I still think that he would have been a top contender today. I mean, the dude is still good. The dude has the. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like there was one match that he had. When he was United States champion, and it did spectacularly well. Wrestling will always have a spot in a competent comedy. Wrestling will always have a spot in competent wrestling company. Exactly. And that's kind of like one of the things that I kind of wish that people understood because one of my least favorite things when it comes to like the internet wrestling community is that they love to just basically say, "Oh, a wrestler needs to be taken seriously." Aaron Teagle, I ain't too happy about it, and I want him to become world heavyweight champion. Our Truth, it was funny. Play Our Truth was one of the realest people I ever met. I love that you started that off with Aaron Teagle in all caps. I got 10 people up in here. That's crazy, y'all. I really do. I don't like I said, really appreciate you guys for showing up. Thank y'all. This is wild. I got 8 people up in here. I don't know where y'all came from. I went from thinking that nobody was gonna. I think it has to be because of the title, right? The title, y'all came over here because y'all read the title. That's like, that's dope. By the way, I really appreciate y'all sticking around. All right, chill. Truth don't need to be no world champ. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. YouTube recommended this. Not mad at all, honestly. Uh, yeah, honestly, I do think that he will. I'm not saying he needs to be world champ, but I'm saying it wouldn't be a bad thing if he did become world champ because he was world champ before. He was NWA world champ when he was in TNA. A lot of people tend to forget that. But also, let's be real. Would it really be a big detriment if he wasn't world champ? You know what I'm saying? But I also need y'all to understand something real quick. Just like y'all probably new to my channel. Y'all probably new to me in general. There's a lot of fan points. There's a lot of things that fans are going to say that I'm not going to really ever agree with because because like I'm a big counter to IWC stuff. I'm a big part of the IWC, so I try my best not to. I'm a big part of the IWC. I'm not a big part of it. I'm not like some influencer or nothing, but I do get involved with a lot of IWC discussions, and I disagree with a lot of stuff that they say and then there's people in the IWC that don't like me, so I need y'all to understand what y'all getting into. I remember I got like a lot of heat because I said I don't care that much about what most reviewers say, like stuff like that. So just know what you're getting into here. But yeah, like I do think that like what I'm simply saying is that like if he was world champ, what do you think with the Death Rider storyline? Honestly, I don't. I do feel like there does need to. I do feel like it has sort of like stayed its course a little bit. But I'm gonna lie to y'all, I haven't really actually sat down. I never watched a full episode of AEW since it came out. because I don't have cable, and it was really hard to like find for like a really long time if you didn't have cable. So, but like I do keep up with it through like little highlights and stuff that people talk about and stuff like that. At least Stephanie coming to Raw, is she? I didn't know that. But yeah, with the Death Rider storyline, I do feel like it kind of like stayed its course a little bit. And the question will always be like, what is the end game? What is the end game of what is going on with the Death Riders? Like the thing I kind of don't like about the Death Rider storyline, from what I understand, is that the thing I don't like about it is that like when you think of stables in professional wrestling, you think of a takeover. You know what I'm saying? You think of like somebody getting Stephanie McCool. I thought you meant Stephanie McMahon. Thoughts on Kalito's contract not being renewed? I did not like that at all. I think that's very offensive. I like the idea that Carlito is going to be able to like bounce back because the WWC in Puerto Rico is like I think his dad's company, so he'll always have a place to wrestle. But I did not like the fact that like that was I did not like the fact that that was a thing that was happening at the time. I'm not cool with that. Um, but yeah, back to the Death Rider storyline, like I will say the thing I don't like. I like it when you have a stable and they're taking all the titles and they're like this big, like the Death Riders had the potential to be Dom gonna dump Liv for Roxanne. Don't, uh, I don't do the whole fantasy booking thing, but if that's what you want to happen, I'm not gonna stop you from wanting that to happen. Um, but yeah, I do like. I feel like the Death Riders had the capabilities of being what I feel like the I feel like the Death Riders had the capabilities of being what the Bloodline was because they were like strong. They had like this whole thing. They were kind of unstoppable, but like nobody else. Like who else had a who else has a title up in that stable? Because I know Moxley is like world champ, right? But is there anybody else in that stable that has a title with all the titles that AEW has? Is there anybody who has it? Like who else got a title in the Death Riders? I would look that up, but I'm lazy. With all of these releases happening, do you think TKO regime is worse or better than the Vince McMahon one? I can't. I don't like doing the worst of. I don't like doing the comparison thing. All I gotta say, all I gotta say is yeet. I get it. That's funny. I don't think that the TKO regime is terrible, but there is a lot to be. There is a lot that definitely kind of needs to, like. It's different because it's different because when I think of TKO, I think of The Rock. You know what I'm saying? And I always and my bias is that like professional wrestlers, my bias because I am very biased with this belief. I believe that like professional wrestlers book companies better than like company people do. But yeet. That's funny. Got it. But like in this case, yeah, TKO is definitely TKO. They've made a lot of great decisions. Like the WWE ID program is actually really good. I know I've encountered some WWE ID wrestlers. They're really cool people. I've also seen I've also like seen what I've also kind of like seen that they have made like really good decisions. Like you got Penta, you got Phoenix, you got Stephanie McCool, you got like all of these wrestlers getting called up, and some of them are actually like getting put in. I definitely see that you do love Jey Uso. He's a good wrestler for sure. TKO versus late 2010s or early 2020s Vince. Give me TKO era every single time. Like I said, I don't really like to compare the two eras because there's a lot. Both of them definitely have their moments where that weren't great, and then they also had some of them had their moments that were spectacular. So I don't, but hello Lenny, how's it going? This is wild. Like I did not expect this. That's crazy. Like y'all just popping up. I was actually about to get off. Like I was actually about to like call it a night. Y'all just popping up and like I appreciate I appreciate y'all showing up though. Thanks. But yeah, I do like because I ain't gonna lie. Like TKO era, the most recent WrestleMania was a bit disappointing to me. But like there also were like great moments. I'm really hyped for the Worlds Collide Our Truth released? Was he in? He was in jail? No, he is not part of WWE anymore. Apparently, his contract is coming. His contract is coming to an end really soon, and he is apparently not going to be getting renewed for it. So like yeah, a lot of people are not okay with that. As am I. I mean, why though did they release him? I don't know. But like I do think that it had I do think that, I feel like it's political. Our Truth must be mid 50s now. Yeah, but look at him. Does he look like he's in his mid 50s? IWC hate on Jay shows they are never happy when someone finally does make it to the top. I agree. I agree with that because there are a lot of one thing I try my best not to do is really like try to appease the IWC because the IWC, in my opinion, it's like at the end of the day, the IWC just want to like shadow book. They want to kind of just sort of like they want to say everything is terrible until they have to actually like do something. It's kind of like the people who watch TVs and just say they watch TV and they just say everything is terrible because they didn't write it. You know, we all know somebody like that. But I do like I personally like Jey Uso. I like what he's doing. The dude is money. The dude is so much money. The dude is money. But to be fair, WWE has been doing that great storylines this year. Well, honestly, I like Jey Uso. I like the Jey Uso storyline. Hey isn't the greatest wrestler, but he's extremely over. Kind of how Cena couldn't wrestle, but still push at the top due to his popularity. Honestly, I would never like. I watched John Cena from like way back in the day, and the whole John Cena couldn't wrestle thing. I never quite understood that because the dude had some good matches against the likes of He Who Shall Not Be Named and Kurt Angle and the like. Cena can't act either. Oh, okay. Wow. Let's not do that. Let's not like. I understand not liking Cena, but let's not deny that the man has acting chops. Have y'all seen Peacemaker? Have y'all seen Peacemaker? If you read the Peacemaker comics, you would know that he nails that role. Like I understand we're supposed to be disliking John Cena right now, but let's just glad he got the ball spot taken care of. Nah, I'm not. Shoot, be proud of your ball spot. Shoot, he's getting old. What, old people are not supposed to be balding? In any case, though, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. But there was a lot of there was a lot of TKO storylines that didn't nail it. But in my opinion, WWE need I feel level up though. Yeah, exactly. But I agree with you that WWE does kind of need a little extra, a little umph. You know what I'm saying? A little like obviously this is definitely testing times for the TKO regime. But like we kind of do have to ask specifically. We got to ask the obvious question: what do we want to see? It's easy to say they need to improve, but we need to ask ourselves: what do we want them to improve on? Last big wrestling death was Sabu. Before that, it was Psycho Sid. There was a few. I mean, there was Terry Funk. Like I don't like Cena's the GOAT 100 for a reason. um, there was I mean, Terry Funk did pass away recently, from what I remember. And there was Afa and Sika, not Hulk Hogan, Hawk and his terrible beard. Oh, I take it you guys are watching Raw right now. Has some decent matches, but if you give Cena 20 minutes with JBL, it was a dud. He would always need to be in a ring with someone who was vastly better in the ring than him, like Benoit or GK. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But like the whole idea is that like if you're good, if you can have a good match with a good wrestler, then that means that you're at least okay. That's just my take. Um, so Cena probably knew Ron Killings was leaving, and I bet gave him one last big payday on his way out in that Saturday Night's main event last week. To say he was released because of racism, though, that's pretty messed up. That was a joke, but also that was just a joke, but also like it wouldn't surprise me because WWE is kind of like it's like I mean like considering the fact that the last time that they did a big firing, it was mostly women. Terry Funk was in Roadhouse '89 with Patrick Swayze. I did not know that. I never saw Roadhouse, but yeah, he was there 17 years. Okay, we need to see a main story where someone is trying to take over the industry, like basically similar to the Authority. I get what you're saying, but to be fair, Triple H and his team are pros and should know. Oh, I guess you're adding on to that. I'm not sure. Wow, 12 people up in here, y'all. Okay, I gotta work. Okay, well, glad to have you. Glad to have you here, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. Uh, but yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. How's it going, Clutch? But like I do like the idea of a storyline where somebody is trying to like take over. I love that. I love that. What's good? Love from London. Thank you. This is wild. This is really wild. I did not expect this. This is Cena was a way better wrestler than a lot of people gave him credit for. The way he was able to innovate his offense, especially during the U.S. Open Challenge run. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one thing I will say about John Cena is that like I never is Vince McMahon still in trouble with John Laurinaitis over the Janelle Grant thing? Yes, yes, he is. There actually was like something I was gonna get to before everybody like popped up. Actually, that's wild, bro. Just tapped in. So what happened to our truth with our truth? His contract is not getting renewed, and fans are not cool with that. Yeah, but the hate for Jey Uso is a bit much. I do understand he needs to do a bit more promo, but he's not a bad wrestler, as people say, in my opinion. I get that. Yeah. Once again, like if there's one thing I've learned is to never take IWC credit. One thing I've learned is to not really take IWC criticism seriously because, like, at the end of the day, they're just wrestling. They're all just wrestling fans. And if we know anything about being involved with fandom, is that like there's going to be people who's going to talk bad about practically anything. Like some people just aren't impressed, just refuse to be just. There's some people who just refuse to be impressed, disrespecting our wrestling legends. To some degree, yes, I agree with that. But yeah, like one thing I've learned is that like the IWC, if the IWC hates somebody, there's a great chance that it's probably not even for the thing. It's probably not the wrestler themselves that they hate. It just probably just it's going to be for reasons probably outside of it. Like one thing I kind of don't like is this. There's this wave of wrestlers. There's this wave of wrestling fans that seem to only dislike wrestling as long as a reviewer tells them to. I want to see Unreal to see what goes on in creative. Oh, yeah, when is Unreal coming out? I'm not sure. Jay gets the biggest pop out of anyone. He can, yeah, I agree there. How's X-Pac doing these days? Does he still wrestle at all? I like to think that I want to say he wrestles indie. I know he wrestles in some indie companies like outside of Carlito also released too. Yes, I also talked about that earlier. I also talked about that earlier, and I am not okay with it. Like, I like the idea that Carlito, as I've said multiple times before, I like the idea that Carlito can still wrestle at a company because he can always go back to Puerto Rico and wrestle in WWC. But I don't like the fact that they got rid of him, and it just feels like it feels like WWE is going like full MAGA here or something. Jay has more charisma than Gunther. I don't really do the comparison thing, y'all. Like that's not. I'm not gonna say that somebody is better than somebody else or anything like that. That's not me. Like that's fan stuff. I try my best not to do that. What happened to Alberto Del Rio? Is he gone to Mexico? I recommend some R word charge, but I'm vague on that. I I don't know. Truth made wrestling entertainment for me. Yes, and Truth is a very entertaining guy. Um, I don't know what happened with Del Rio. I do know that like WWE has had like a bit of a history with Del Rio, so like I can't tell y'all I can't give y'all any like wrestling news. All I can tell you is I do know that from like back way back in the day, Del Rio did do some things that really did kind of get him in bad graces with WWE. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just decided we don't want this guy back, and they just yeah, he was a WWE World Champion, but his moment was spotlight feels brief. It kind of was. I mean, Triple H cooked for the first year till WrestleMania 40, but 41 and him saying the fans shouldn't critique is like, yeah, I get it, but they should take a bit and use it as fuel to pay better. The problem is that, like, on one hand, you're not wrong, but on the other hand, I do. The problem with fan critique is that fans will tell you to do two different things at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, if there's one fan up here telling you to push a wrestler, there's another group of fans that are telling you not to push a wrestler. The problem is that, like, the criticism seems to come from a place that is like, it just feels like, once again, it just feels like somebody just saying, it just feels like somebody just watching their screen and going, this sucks because I didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can assure you right now, if you told a wrestling fan to like start their own wrestling company, they'll melt down. They will melt down and they will crumble and they will be like, well, no, I shouldn't have to. They should be able to just do what I want them to do. Well, what do you want them to do? I don't know. They should be able to know though. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's really easy to say that something sucks when you don't do anything. And that's kind of like one of the things that I tend to triple. I love how you like. I look how you like capitalize Triple H. Triple H had to go off the gear as his heart muscles were weakened. Yeah, I agree. I think WWE. I'm thinking WWE gave big money to Mariah May, and that might be part of the reason they made some roster cuts a couple of months ago, and even now. How much money would they pay her though? That's crazy, bro. They have to make a space for Trick Williams over Femi, etc. Is a business, and new players need to play. I don't know what you're referring to, but okay. Man, I just posted a comment about a week ago on one of WWE's videos that Truth deserves to be in the Hall of Fame now. He's done so much over the years, and he's hilarious. I can't believe they let this man go. Yeah, yeah, it is kind of stressing. It is definitely like annoying me too, for sure. Mariah Bay is too good for AEW. That's not like that feels like something that you could say, but like, let's be real here. Let's not forget that, like, people love bashing AEW. People literally will just say anything just to bash AEW. I'm not that kind of guy. I like wrestling. But I also kind of hate this idea that, like, I don't understand why people are going crazy for Mariah May, because, like, I'm not saying that Mariah May isn't a good wrestler, but like, I really don't like, but it's like, I remember when she was on the show and she was doing things, and wrestling fans would be like, we got Tiffany Stratton at home. And now she's going to WWE, and all of a sudden this, oh wow, we can't wait to see Mariah May. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of wild. Was it high time? Was it high time Lex Luger entered the Hall of Fame? He didn't kill Miss Elizabeth, and his narcissist character was way better than his Captain America face turn, which sucked. I feel like you're kind of bringing up like multiple points at the same time here. But Luger is now in the Hall of Fame. I agree. But as a fan of the UFC, this is not much different than what happened to their roster after the WWE purchase. I bet Triple H has nothing to do with these releases. That's why I'm not blaming. Triple H. I'm not blaming him. I don't know anything that goes on with the corporation. I just know, like, I'm blaming. I do know that, like, ow, like, I'm not really blaming anybody. I'm just making jokes about how this is like racially motivated, because, like, the joke is that WWE is full on MAGA now, and I just like taking cheap shots like that because I just think it's funny. Uh, but like, but yeah, I don't think that Triple H is at all involved, like, at fault for what happened with all of these things. But it's just like, it still kind of annoys me a little bit that that's happening. But at the same time, I do think that at some point, I do. At the same time, I do think that like, this definitely does give us a chance to see our truth go someplace else and stuff like that. Because, yeah, I can't wait. Because, like, if he goes back to TNA, he's getting a hero's welcome for sure. And if he goes to AEW, that'd be kind of hilarious. It's Sunny out of the Hall of Fame. I didn't she crash into a pensioner drunk out of her face? I don't know if she's still in, but I do feel like that's definitely something to research. I'm thinking soon Karrion Cross is gonna be released. I hope not. I hope not because Karrion Cross is cooking right now. Karrion Cross is cooking. He is cooking. That is like they. But then again, like if they're getting rid of our truth at this high of his career, like anything is possible at this point. This and that's kind of a sad fact. Mariah May is a generational talent. I feel like you're just a really big Mariah May fan, which I'm glad to see that. But like I mean, it's like I just hope that you still like her when she goes in. Imagine if they released John Cena. Honestly, like considering what's happening, I wouldn't be surprised. But if they do release him, that would be hmm. If they do release him, he's champ. Like he's champ. Like what do you do? Like what? You just give him the Montreal screw job, or just where's Daniel Bryan now? I think that Daniel Bryan is. I think that Daniel. Oh, I gotta get this wallet out of my pocket. Is hurting me. Just keep it brewing, bro. We need new wrestling podcasts that all steal from each other and have clickbait titles. Thank you for that. They just released everyone. That would be funny. Honestly, they like let's be real. If WWE decides to just release everybody and like start a whole new roster, that would that would be like that would be the Thanos snap of professional wrestling in general. But also like the indie companies will be wringing their hands, bro, because they gonna be like, heck yeah, bro. Where's Daniel Bryan? He's in AEW. But I also think that he's just chilling. I like to think. Did anyone hear Coco Beware is facing criminal charges? Hannibal DV covered it. I did not, but I hope that that's not true because I love Coco Beware. AEW taking all of them. I hope so. Like shoot, they one like one thing that we tend to forget about AEW because people love to like talk smack about AEW is that AEW revamps careers. Like AEW like does as long as they keep Jey Uso and LA Knight. Got it. I take it those two are some of your favorites. But like, like I will like AEW like revamps careers. Like we really don't like it's really easy to not talk about that and ignore that. But AEW does in fact like AEW did good work for Edge, Sting, um, Ricochet right now. I mean, John Moxley got like a whole second wind from there. I like that there's an alternative. Exactly. It's like I really kind of don't like this idea that hating I hate when hating AEW feels less like a genuine dislike and more like a bandwagon. And it's like no, it's just like I don't. It's like I genuinely don't care if another fan hates AEW because I'm just not going to do it. Ted DiBiase's son looking at some financial impropriety rap. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing that's happening in Mississippi. It kind of hurts my spirit a little bit because me and Ted DiBiase's son, I think we're like I want to say we're from like the same state or something like that. Hard to believe Owen Hart is gone 26 years. Time flies. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's 26 years ago. That's very it's very telling. And he was so young too. It's like man, if he was still around, he'd probably like be wrestling circles around this new generation of wrestlers. Um, Ted DiBiase Jr. always seemed fake to me. Well, I mean, like, in what way? The dude had a good look. I will say that. How did you feel about SmackDown? Have you done a review of it? I try my best not to really do reviews about like TV shows, like about the shows, because in order for me to do that, I would have to do editing, and I don't really like doing editing. Also, I haven't really watched SmackDown, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. Fake nice guy. Well, it's easy. I mean, have you met him in person? Owen Hart seemed genuinely liked too by fans and wrestling peers, not just because of the tragedy of how he. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like some of the most likable wrestlers. It really does feel like a lot of the most likable wrestlers kind of just don't get a fair shake. It does feel like a lot of wrestlers that are genuinely enjoyed at their company. Like the company is genuinely enjoyed backstage. It's really easy to just say, yeah, let's do nothing. Let's do nothing for that guy, and that's not cool. Stealing money is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, that thing in Mississippi. There was a thing in Mississippi. Uh, there was a thing for those who don't know. Man, Dominic really does look like Eddie. Yeah, because of the long hair and the mustache. That's all you really have to do. It's the long hair and the mustache. Of course, he's gonna look like Eddie. Long hair, thin, paper thin mustache, and not only that, but he has the mullet. Come on, man. Because if you shave his head and put the Mysterio mask on him, he looks just like Ray. He looks just like a taller Ray. Shoot, but yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the. I mean, but yeah, that's the joke there. So we get it. I hated that. I hated that storyline when it came out. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I did not like that storyline. That was like one of my least favorite ones. And like what always irritates me about that storyline was that like Ray wrote it. That was his storyline. He wrote that. That's wild, man. That's wild. I heard Owen was one of the. I guess some wrestlers have mixed opinions. Yeah, wrestlers have mixed opinions about everybody. Like I mean, like it's like there's some wrestlers that I've met backstage who were nice to me, but probably not nice to anybody, or probably not nice to other people. So it's just like like everybody's going to be cool to everybody in some fashion, but one person's cool is another person's fake. Dominic saved his career turning heel. I guess I'm not a huge fan of heel turns, but like I'm not a huge fan of like heel turns like that. But it's like I get it. Jake the Snake Roberts is still around. He had a dodgy reputation. Like name a wrestler who didn't have a dodgy reputation. I can still hear Eddie. Where the f is Vicky when he was hanging off the ladder? Right. That was a very wild moment. I definitely remember that happening. I remember one of my homies actually like brought that up. That was a while back. Oh my goodness. Um, all right. I genuinely I 16 people. This is the most people I've ever had in any live I ever wrote. Like I gotta start doing these clickbait titles more often. I don't know. Um, I really appreciate you guys for sticking around, but obviously I got to go to work in the morning, so I do have to like kind of end this right now. I do appreciate you guys for sticking, like coming in. Like I really did go from like 0 to 15, 15 people. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Hopefully, I like if you guys pop up for the next live, that'd be great. Be sure to check out my other lives that I've done. I showcase some wrestlers that I've met backstage. Thanks for coming in. Um, I would kind of like do a send off like I do on my other channel. I do have another channel, but we'll talk about that. I just came upon your channel randomly. Yeah, thanks. Holy crap! I'm 19 people. That is crazy, bro. Keep up the work, bro. Progress is progress. I like new faces. Thanks for the chat. Thank y'all. Thank y'all again. But like I said, I gotta go to work in the morning, so I do have to bounce. Uh, Thanks again for sticking around. Um, be sure to I don't know like and subscribe or whatever. I my wrestling knowledge. I have no wrestling knowledge, bro. But yeah, thanks again, y'all. Love and peace and safety to y'all out there. If y'all like what you see, like and subscribe. I will try my best to do more stuff and like things like that. But I need y'all to understand real quick that I do have controversial takes when it comes to professional wrestling, and I keep going. YouTube gave you a gift tonight, and you're leaving right when you're cooking. Nah, I'm not. I'm not cooking, bro. I got to go to work in the morning. Like I have an actual job, so and I kind of want to be awake when I get there. So I will probably go live again. We'll talk again, y'all. But yeah, y'all be easy. Like and subscribe for more. Or if you want to, or something. But yeah, I'm out. Love and peace.